Be honest right now, this is my earliest review I think I've ever done for any movie on my channel. So, yeah, it's pretty big. So, a promise is a promise, so this is Detroit. So, Detroit is the newest movie directed by Catherine Bigelow, who, if you don't know, is notable for directing movies like Zero Dark 30 and The Hurt Locker. Both excellent movies. And so is this. Wow, that's what I can say after seeing this. I mean, this movie, it makes you uncomfortable, and it talks about a lot of issues that are definitely still relevant to today and are definitely still talked about today. And I think that's the important thing about this movie. It kind of paints officers in a bad light, which is expected in a movie like this, talking about the Detroit riots of 1967, but it's justified. And the performances are solid. I mean, the one that stands out to me, obviously the most, is Will Poulter, who played one of the officers in the film. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, up till this point, I think I'd just seen him in comedies, but I mean, he brought it, and he brought it hard. I mean, if his role was to be a generic asshole, then he definitely brought it in this movie, and I think that's what I like about it a lot. I mean, like I said before, it makes you uncomfortable and it doesn't stray from its point. I mean, essentially, the movie is all about these group of black and these two white girls and other young kids that are all trapped in this motel. One of them takes a little toy gun and shoots it out at the cops. They freak out, and John Boyega, who's a security guard, goes with them to investigate and everything. And and then the police end up taking things way too far. They do all these things that are just not the right thing to do in a situation like that. They play this game where they take them into a room, and then they pretend that they're dead, and then they're not, and then it's completely insane, and it's eye opening, and it's shocking at the same time that this actually happened. But it's beautifully acted. It's beautifully portrayed. I mean, I have absolutely no gripes at all about this movie, except just one scene when there's like a shaky cam. But even that, looking back at it now, just seems completely justifiable. I mean, I definitely think that if at least not one person is nominated for an Oscar or an Academy Award for this, I will be very shocked, honestly. So far, I think this movie, in terms of just the way the story was told and the way it was directed and the way it was acted, seems like a very good contender for a possible Best Picture, if not a supporting actor or a best actor role, to me anyway, because of how it was. I mean, just it feels real. When a movie feels real and you really connect with it on an emotional level, that's how it is. And that's, I think, what Catherine Bigelow does great. I mean, she tells these real human stories, and they're heartfelt, and they don't stray away from what the point that they're trying to get across to you is. And that's the important thing there is here. Like the Detroit riots, they happened, and people died, people were hurt, people were unfortunate casualties, and something like that. But it's important to know about it so that we can understand and move as a nation from that, and understand why it is that that happened, and how we can try not to have that happen again in like today's society. And also, I guess police brutality is, I guess, a big thing also in this movie. Maybe it's just because of how the actors portrayed the officers. Now, I'm not saying that that's true with all officers, that they're brutal. I mean, not that this movie portrays it like that, but just the way that it goes about doing it is just, it's fascinating and it's interesting to watch. And I think it's one of the very well acted parts of the movie, and I couldn't be happier with how it was portrayed. But I mean, that's probably all I thought about the movie. I mean, it was a solid 10 out of 10, if not 11 out of 10. I mean, this is definitely worth watching, and definitely spending your money on. I would definitely say if you have anyone that's not really keen on this type of subject matter, or when it comes to just the whole police versus blacks or anything like that, then maybe not have them see it. But if you can understand why this happens, if you're a fan of this type of history and are just a Catherine Bigelow fan, then I recommend that you check this movie out. It's absolutely 100% amazing. And I mean that in every single sense of the word. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Detroit. How you thought all the actors did. If there were any little gripes in between that you didn't think were 100%, maybe could have been a little bit better. I thought everything was on par, to be honest. I don't see one flaw in this movie, if there is any. It's very minuscule and everything. My next review, I'm gonna try and get out Dunkirk, because I've been trying to do that one for a while now. It's just I had this screening for Detroit today, so I just figured I would do this review. I seem to be knocking these out of the park. So Dunkirk will probably be next, and then after that, I want to do a review on The Defenders, and maybe for these other shows that I'm watching, so stay tuned on those. Those will come as they come, and then as any other screenings that I do for any other movies, I will let you know in the video that I post it for the next review. But obviously I want to do Dunkirk next, so I want that to be my next movie, so be out for that. But like I said, tell me what you guys thought about Detroit, and what other movies so far this year are you considering to be on the Oscar contender list for Best Picture. Alright, so I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I am Vegathon, and adios.